Works for me. Hey, I'm Brian Bauer, and today we are going to be talking about Hawk picks, handmade in the UK. To start off, I would just like to say thank you to Rob at Hawk Picks and Mark Thompson for recommending that I try Hawk Picks out, and they've been gracious enough to send me 5 different picks to try out today on the channel. So I've been playing these for a little bit, and we're going to talk about those as well as just guitar picks in general and why they matter. As I have mentioned, Hawk picks are handmade. Now, where these are a premium pick, they are not just made out of just standard plastic like many of the manufacturers. You can buy a lot of those things in bulk because they're all machine made out of just a regular old plastic, and a lot of them are really awesome, but you can improve upon what you're using for a pick, and Hawk Picks does just that. Hawk Picks are made out of a material called arynoid. At least that's what it's known as in the UK. There's another word, it's here on the screen. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. Arynoid is a bit of a tough material to work with, so there's actually a whole lot of work to get the gauges and final finish correct. So there's a lot of sanding and polishing, and these things turn out really well. And not only do they feel really nice and sound really nice, they also look really nice as well. With arynoid, it's actually supposed to have very similar properties to hawksbill tortoiseshell. However, arynoid is also a biodegradable material, so if you end up throwing these things out, you're not actually going to hurt the environment. So I do recommend not throwing out your Hawk picks into the garbage. They cost a lot of money, and there's a lot of dedication into making these things, so don't put them in the garbage. The other wonderful thing about arynoid, and that it's similar to tortoiseshell, is that it's not real tortoiseshell, so we're not actually killing any turtles just to improve our guitar playing and our guitar tone. So please don't kill any tortoises just to improve your guitar tone by trying to make guitar picks. I highly recommend just, buying Hawk picks. I think Rob would really like that. So the selection of picks I have here today, they're all known as tone birds, so I'm just going to read this from the piece of paper just so I get it correct. So first up, we have this 1.6 millimeter pick, an orange abalone, and it has a standard bevel. We have this 1.6 millimeter pick. It's in tortoiseshell, but it has a right bevel. We'll come back to that one in a little bit. We have this standard beveled 1.4 millimeter red abalone pick. We have this 1.4 millimeter standard bevel black pick. Actually, it's also known as stealth black. It is very black. And we have this one. It is a 1.4 millimeter standard bevel marble pick. This one replicates jazz picks like the Dunlop Jazz 3s or something. It even has a little grip on it. I think that's pretty cool. So right now we're gonna be testing out all these picks sound-wise. I'm using a clean tone with no compression. There is a little bit of reverb on the tone from the Kemper. It's pretty subtle. Anyway, we are using the Bogner Ecstasy Queen by Guido Bungenstock. I still can't say his name. Anyway, first up, we have this right here. You will hear a few little subtle differences. This is the orange abalone 1.6 millimeter, and here we go. All right, up next we have the tortoiseshell 1.6 millimeter with the right bevel. Here we go. Maybe slightly punchier. So right here we have the red abalone 1.4 millimeter standard bevel. All right, now we have the 1.4 millimeter stealth black. Right here, let's see if it'll focus. Nope. Little bit sharper. And we have the 1.4 millimeter jazz pick with the 6 holes for a grip. It's the marble one. Sounds pretty good. They're all fairly similar, but the thinner ones have a little bit more high end to them. just a little more sharpness in the attack. As we can see, I'll go to the orange one here. It's like, and I'll go to the stealth black one. It's a subtle difference. It's not it's not really night or day, but it is a little bit sharper. I think that's perfectly fine. Depends what you want and what you like for feel. So sounds pretty good. Maybe we'll do a little bit of lead stuff too. Right now we'll try the picks out with distorted tone. We have Guido Bungenstock's Fireman PT, which is the Friedman Pink Taco. I turned all the effects off of this one, so there's no compression and no reverb, no delays, not whatnot. So let's do this. Orange 1.6 millimeter. Let's go. Nice. We have the tortoiseshell 1.6 millimeter with a right bevel. Slightly different. Now we have the 1.4 millimeter red abalone with a standard bevel. Pretty sweet, not a huge difference. With the 1.4 millimeter stealth black. Nice little attack on that one. It's a great pick for metal. And last but not least, we have the 1.4 millimeter standard bevel. Little marble pick here with the 6 grip holes. Sounds pretty good. Works for me. So choosing guitar picks. There's a lot of companies out there and they've got a whole lot of things to offer. Generally speaking, when you start out as a guitar player, you go to the store, you see that big tray of picks, you choose a bunch of random ones, you take them home and you find one that seems to work for you and you stick with it for quite some time. However, not all picks are created equally and they're not all created with the same purposes in mind. So let's discuss that a little bit. So while there's a lot of emphasis these days on the guitar you're playing, the amp you're playing, the pickups you're using, a lot of guitar playing comes down to your touch, not only with your fret hand, but with your picking hand. So the pick here is going to matter. A pick that is too thin is going to be too flimsy for playing lead work, but it might do very well for strumming. However, a pick that is too thick is probably going to get stuck on the strings. While string gauge and all that stuff is a relative thing to the player, these are things you do need to keep in mind. Another thing that sets picks apart is the types of bevels that they have. A round bevel is going to be a lot better for rhythm playing. So if you're just going to do some acoustic strumming or just some straight up rhythm playing on your electric guitar, I think a round bevel is going to work just fine. However, pointed bevel is going to do a whole lot better for playing lead work. One of the things that I really like about Hawk picks is that they offer 3 different bevels. They have the standard bevel, which is your regular point. You will find this on most of the picks you're going to find at the guitar store. They also do the right bevel and the left bevel. They were gracious enough to give me this tortoiseshell pick with a right bevel. The idea of the right bevel is that generally speaking, you're kind of angle your picking hand a little bit, just naturally doing that while you're playing guitar. A lot of people aren't super precise. We're human beings after all. And this one happens to work really well. I found it made the playing super, super easy. Left bevel, same idea, but it's for left-handed players. It's great that they actually thought about both of them. So I have no complaints to say about any of these picks. Like I said earlier, picks are all about personal preference. It's kind of relative more to your playing and what you want. We'll start off with the orange abalone one. I don't play this one quite as much, but every time I pick it up, I just seem to naturally get into playing it. It's 1.6 millimeters, so it has the H on there for heavy, but plays and sounds great, can't complain. I really do like this right beveled pick. I think that's absolutely killer. I didn't quite pick up on that right away till I realized man, that actually plays really easy. It seems to work quite well for me. It's again 1.6 millimeter, but I think the bevel on this one is what sets it apart from the other 1.6 millimeter pick I got. So I'm gonna have to say I like that one a little bit better. The next one up was actually this red abalone pick, and it's at 1.4 millimeters. I have to say this actually might be my favorite of the 5. I seem to just gravitate towards this one. I seem to play very well with it. It's just a standard bevel, unlike the last one, it had a right bevel. This is one that I would definitely play a whole lot more. I really like this one. And next up we have this one that's Stealth Black. It's also 1.4 millimeters. However, it's a little bit thinner than the other one where they said it was 1.4 millimeters. So maybe, let's just compare. It actually could be 1.6. I'm really not 100% sure. Again, it's an awesome pick if you like them a little bit thinner. This Stealth Black one is great, and I had no problems with it. But the similar one here is the red abalone one, and I seem to gravitate towards that one just a little bit more, just a personal preference. The last one is one that I also find really interesting here. It's the one it's the marble one. It's like a jazz pick, so like a Dunlop Jazz 3, but it's the Hawk pick version. Not only is it a beautiful pick, it also has 6 holes in it that are used for a grip. I've been a Jazz 3 player for probably about 7 years. I've been playing, I've played the Yule Tex by Dunlop. I've used the Jazz 3 Max grips for a long time too, and I think there was another one that I had used at some point. But this is the premium version of this, and I think Hawk Picks actually got this one right. I actually do prefer a pick with a grip on it, and I think that these Jazz picks are really good. So I highly recommend that if you are using Dunlop picks or some other variant of a Jazz pick now, and you just want to step it up, to give a couple of these Hawk Jazz picks a try. It does have the grip, it doesn't slip around. I think it's really nice, and it sounds really good. So there are some do's and don'ts to having one of these picks. After all, you did pay a lot for it, and it is handmade. They're a very nice pick, and we need to take care of these things. So I'm just going to be referencing the website, which is down below. Let's just talk about the do's and don'ts. Wipe your pick down every time after you're done using it. Just remember, your hands are greasy. If you see all that gunk that's on your fretboard after you've played it for a while, well, I mean, it's going to maybe affect your pick after a while too. Remember, as clean as you think you're kind of a gross person. So wipe your pick down if you want to maintain it. So they also keep your pick in a safe place. Mine are just sitting here on the desk. So, you know, put them in like a little container or something there. Don't go throwing them around. These aren't garbage picks, so take care of them, put them in a safe place. They also say to rotate the pick regularly to even out the wear. I'm not sure how that works with the beveled pick, but for the standard bevel picks, I think that rotating it would be perfectly acceptable. So maybe, you know, turn it upside down. If you get to say this is right side up, then just turn it to the other side and play it that way, and it should even it out. However, there are some don'ts. Do not keep your picks in your pocket. Don't be flexing them too hard because it can damage them. If you're putting them in there with your keys and all your coins and all that kind of stuff, it's gonna potentially damage the pick. So put them somewheres where at least they're not gonna get bent and scratched up. Also, don't put your picks in the washing machine and don't put it in your beer. They say beer, so I guess you can put it in your water, you can put it in your rum, you can put it in your eggnog, and you can put it in your chocolate milk. Actually, don't put it in any liquid, okay? Don't do that. That's just a straight up bad idea. If you're used to the regular picks at the guitar stores, I think Hawk Picks is a solid upgrade for you because not only is there the standard bevel, there's also the right and left bevel. They're gonna feel more like the picks that you are used to, but they are a nice solid upgrade and are very nice sounding picks. If you're going through the website and you're not seeing what you're looking for, the great thing is Hawk Picks will work with you to make something that you actually want. I highly recommend checking out the Hawk Picks website and really kind of just considering what you might want to try before you order. If you're not sure what to order, get in contact with Hawk Picks, and I'm sure they're going to help you out and give you a recommendation on something to try out. So just to end this video, I do want to say thanks again to Rob at Hawk Picks and Mark Thompson for recommending me try these out and giving these to me to try out here on the channel. I've been really enjoying them, and I'm going to be continuing to play with these Hawk Picks from here on out, as well as the other ones that I do have. So, you know, if you like Hawk Picks, check them out, buy some, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Click the subscribe button, click any of the other videos, and I will see you guys all in the next video. And it was just wonderful to, you know, play something that feels like a tortoiseshell, and we didn't actually kill any turtles in the process. Guys, have an awesome day, and I will see you guys all in the next video. See yas.